going on, everybody?
What's
We're
up?
talking about video game music right now.
Here we go.
Yeah,
This is
good
one of the-
topic. It's fun.
This is one of the cooler intros for video game, and that music, man, I love Ninja Gaiden 2.
It's
I don't know,
eerie,
what do y'all think?
electric. It's eerie but electric. I like it.
Yeah, it's one of those that like it was masterfully crafted. The whole beginning of that game, like all of those, that's one of the things that they pushed the boundaries as far as the storytelling for what they did, and the soundtrack just sells it.
Yeah, man, and not just this song either, man. They the whole let me stop sharing this stuff. The whole, like, I'm gonna be honest, for Ninja Gaiden 2, like every level was awesome, but man, dude, that intro really does like hit hard.
That's banging.
As they like to say, it hits hard. You know what it got me going with this whole thing, because we've talked about video game music before, but I was watching a video on YouTube where the guy was talking about Mega Man 2, and I never really thought about Mega Man. I love Mega Man growing up, but I never considered it.
Shame.
I never considered it like a musical masterpiece, because I was what, like
Spoiled
6 when it came out. And so I never really knew that it was how amazing that soundtrack is. And mainly the title screen, for we'll get to that here in just a second. I wanted to play one more from Ninja Gaiden, if I can get this thing to my computer's running a little bit slow. It's kind of really,
it's all that music, man.
Annoying.
While you're doing that, just real quick, howdy to Nody Buddy and Tail End Topics. Nody's an old buddy of mine. He's also a gamer.
Oh, hey.
He's one of my playthrough guys I love watching.
Okay.
Good guy. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us, Nody.
You see how I'm glitching? My computer's like having a hard time. What's going on, Nody Buddy? Let's see here. This is actually one of my favorite songs from Ninja Gaiden 2 in the levels. Okay. If it plays.
No.
This is the most annoying level in the entire game, by the way.
That brings back terrible memories. The snow level.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right, because the snow keeps trying to push you off the ledge.
That was the first time in like the history of video games that you had to deal with environmental elements.
The music just sounds like this level's supposed to piss you off.
It sounds like you're gonna die. You're about to die a lot.
Yeah, you die a lot in this level. I don't know. Was there another one that you like? Because we played Ninja Gaiden religiously back in the day, but this one was one of the like as I'm listening to all the sounds, like all the songs, this one was the one that stuck out to me, because this is the most infuriating level in that game.
This is the one that stands out the most because I heard it more than all the other songs combined. It took forever to beat this level.
That one, and was the is it this one too? No, never mind. Forget that. I don't want to play ads. I was gonna play the game over, the game over sign. Boom, 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 no, 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 or whatever. That was. Oh man,
heard that one a lot too.
Yeah, I didn't play Ninja Gaiden 2 until it got remastered on Xbox.
Oh, they remastered it? I didn't know that.
Oh,
of course, where would you be with video game conversation? And this is probably one of the most annoying ones, but I have to put it in there because it's iconic.
I told you not to. I know this is the one I told you not to do. Oh, it's not, but all right. We'll be talking about this one. I'm sure it'll be coming up.
Yeah, this one kind of should have just been playing in the background the whole time, but I had to put it in there. It's a classic. It's iconic. It's not good, but it is good. It is kind of good.
You know what? The sewer levels had a little bit of a thump to them.
Mario had some cool music, and even Super Mario was like, all right, let's put a stop to that there. Super Mario World was good, but not like some musical amazingness like what I'm about to bring up.
Super Mario 3, I think, is when they introduced, they started doing funk in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And I loved it when games started doing that. When they started kind of, there's, I don't know, like some hip sounding, some songs that they're getting away from like this classically constructed music and started kind of making it sound like rock and roll, but with Nintendo sounds, you know?
That's when they started moving the avatars across the actual island, right, for the different levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
Now, of course, talking about video game music, there's no way. I went through so many songs trying to find the best music, and I read a lot of articles and lists on top 10, top 25, and man, I gotta say, most of them were not that good, and they're not that. I'm wondering if the person who wrote those lists. There's like moments in games that are really impactful, and so you just kind of want to go like, oh yeah, that was a really like hard hitting soundtrack, but it by itself it's really not unless it's like tied into the moment of the game. You know, the music's really not that great, and so there's a lot of music, and I throw me all your comments, man. Like y'all can throw all the hate at me in the world in the comments because
when they inevitably you forget their song.
Yeah, exactly. So this is kind of like our list, my list. I asked, you guys. I asked the family.
No, this is the definitive list. Period.
Yeah, you're right. It is. This is the only one that matters. And no, it doesn't have Final Fantasy in it. I'm sorry, but that music.
All right,
it's fun, but it's not. It didn't make the list. And neither did Chrono Trigger. That popped up a lot in all these.
Oh, that's a good one too, though.
It's not, though. It's not that good. And you know what? When we get through all of these, maybe if we have some time, I'll look up Chrono Trigger. But honestly, I didn't think Chrono Trigger was that great.
Right.
But
have you heard the story? Have you heard the story about the guy? And I don't remember the specifics, but he was the composer for either Metal Gear Solid or like one of the Resident Evil games. And there was a whole conspiracy surrounding him doing music for those games. So basically what happened was he wrote the soundtrack to like Resident Evil 1 or one of those games. I forget which. And people in the comments like harassed me about this for not knowing if you know what I'm talking about. But so this guy wrote this amazing soundtrack. Like it's really notable. And then he was like, he went deaf. And he wrote this next soundtrack for the next game because it was such a blow up like favorite thing that it was this terrible bomb. Like it was kind of like the same in the way that it was crafted, like the way the songs were crafted, but it was just like, what the fuck is this? It was such a garbage soundtrack. Well, it turned out that it was actually his assistant who had like taken his songs and rewritten them into the way that it made popular for the first game. And then on top of that, they found out that he used the whole going deaf thing as an excuse to try to sell that he was this great composer. And he's well known in like Japan. He was this huge name, and it was all a farce. He was never deaf. He never like wrote the actual songs. It was a huge conspiracy.
So he's a fraud.
Hey, but I bet they sold. I bet his plan worked to a degrray. You know, some of that music though, I gotta say, I give myself a headache listening to all this video game music, trying to find like those like games I never really played that much. And
sure,
then there are some games with some wacky freaking music, and I didn't put those in the list. But
Earthworm Jim's
everything about that game was weird.
That game was cool and weird, but I don't remember the music. I don't remember that standing out, you know?
Oh, it was quirky. It was definitely
my favorite soundtrack is Metroid. And and I wanted, obviously I'm wearing like Samus, right? And I made it as a thumbnail. I didn't bring that in the intro because I gotta be honest, Ninja Gaiden's better. That Ninja Gaiden 2 intro is
you know what? I got something to say about that. I put Metroid super high on the list of soundtracks for video games. Like if you haven't played Super Metroid, you need to get out of your pitiful little shell and you need to go play that game. It is freaking amazing. And one of the things that's amazing about it is the way they did that soundtrack. It's like in every other video game ever, it's like the songs are playing throughout the level. Like every level has its song. But in Super Metroid, and they actually did this with like the original Metroid too, but it's like they have these moments of just level ambiance that add to like how eerie that boss battle is going to be, or like the traversal that you're about to have to do. It's those moments of like silence and that just the eerie drones that they use and just the level ambiance that drive how awesome the sound is. Like yes, stuff like that happening. You have stuff happening in the background.
Yeah, and that game really does a good job establishing the mood for each level, and a lot of those songs, the soundtrack for that game, are really good. I didn't put like the whole soundtrack, even though I think it's my favorite game of all time, is Super Metroid. I didn't throw in any of the extra like levels because I had to be fair here. Like, I love them, but there's only like one or two that I think actually they're kind of impactful, like musically or whatever.
Right.
Now, with all that said, there is one game that was on almost every list, and listening to it, I'm like, I gotta agree, man. This is, maybe I'm hyping it a bit too much, but Mega Man 2.
There we go.
Really,
that's the one that's on every list. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I gotta say, it is good. This is the intro to Mega Man
2. For a futuristic cyberpunk video game, you wouldn't think this would be the intro music.
Well, hey, real quick, the side note, and I'm gonna have to like take it back because there's like some musical notes you got to hear. Sure. But this was actually the outro song for Mega Man 1, and because not very many people were able to beat Mega Man 1,
they didn't know.
Many people realized it.
That's cool. I love that word, that cool tie-in.
And then they do this cool little like speed things up. Mega Man was such a cool game.
Oh yeah.
So obviously, you hear that and you're like, you know what would be really freaking awesome? If they made that metal. If somebody went and did that a metal cover version.
Yes.
Now, I gotta say, when it came to, there was metal versions of Nintendo game music. Metroid Metal was the first one I ever heard, and I'll play that later, but this sounds freaking awesome, man. Like, I gotta say, this is some like rock.
This is how, like, this is like, if they do a video game remake, they need to hire this. I'm familiar with the Mega Man one, and it is sick.
Yeah. Can you imagine playing Nintendo and then like this comes on?
Yeah.
I love that they do this to these songs. It sounds so awesome.
This was Zeppelin in his time off.
Yeah, I want to hear the breakdown when it starts to hit, when it punches.
Yeah. And there's a few, but this one was my favorite one. Nostalgica really kills it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Dude. I it to you guys over Nostalgica. You guys freaking killed it with this. I don't want to listen to the whole thing. It's only a minute something long. We're almost to the end.
And they got the breakdown.
Yeah.
Dude, that guitar player was having a ball with that solo.
Right? Nailed it, dude. That was so freaking badass. I love that. I'll get to the... Well, no, wait. No, we're here. We're Metroid. Now,
hey, just before you do that, I got a little trivia question for anybody who's watching this after the fact. We can like mention this in a minute, but without going and searching on Google or anything like that, can anybody here, anybody who's watching in the comments, anything like that, can you tell me who wrote the soundtrack for Spy Hunter? That's a fun story.
No, I can't tell you.
No. You're going to do a big reveal here in a bit?
I'll do a big reveal in a minute, yeah.
Okay.
Give people in the comments who are watching this after the fact to not look it up on Google and give me an answer in the comments.
So when I was listening to this music, the Metroids, I was like hard pressed. I really wanted to play the actual original, but it is actually difficult to listen to. But this isn't. This is the Metroid Metal. I have been listening to this. I found this back when like YouTube first started, dude. I don't even know if YouTube was around yet when I found this guy Stemage, and I downloaded that album because he was giving it away for free. It rocked, man. So I figured I'd save the audience the original and just play the epic version.
That's another one, that was just, he had a ball recording that.
Yeah. This part, man, something about this tune, it gets me. I love it.
Man, why can't we have a soundtrack like this in a game these days?
Well,
you gotta go to Bonners for this.
We kind of do. Let me lower this. So we kind of do nowadays with like video game music. Everything is like actually orchestrated, and there's a lot of actual like musicians playing. It's not like beat map kind of music,
right?
So you get a lot more stuff like this with games, but then
you get stuff like this. It's not this good.
Well, no, it's not this good. This guy. Bringing it back, that title screen. So, I don't think the music in video games is as good now. It's maybe more, I don't know, produced. But it's a lot of wasn't there a video game song that was actually in movies? Or was it a movie song that they kept putting in all these video games? It was orchestra. I don't know.
Well,
there's a lot of games.
I told you about that video game on GameCube and on PlayStation, but 007 Everything or Nothing. So
yeah,
it came out after Die Another Day. It was technically Pierce Brosnan's last outing as James Bond in a video game. I mean, they got William Dafoe to come in and play the bad guy. They got John Cleese back for it. So, but the opening credit music was Everything or Nothing. I forget the singer.
So they had like a James Bond title screen like style music for that?
Oh yeah. They made it an actual like movie-esque video game.
I remember that other one. We were talking about this. I don't remember the songs though.
It was a third-person shooter. It was set up like Splinter Cell, but it was James Bond overlay on top of it. It was awesome.
There is a lot of games out there that have good music, but it's really difficult to find one that doesn't just sound like background filler. Like Nintendo games, they got like composers or some, I don't know, those guys that wrote some of that music they were very like they're
proud of it.
People.
Yeah, they're proud of their soundtracks, and you can see they invest money in it.
Yeah, and it's for good reason, because man, those were good. There's games that like Shadow of the Colossus. There's a moment where like the sounds and the music, they get you at certain points in the game, but realistically, like the music itself isn't that amazing. It just happens to coincide and set the mood for like a really impactful moment in a video game, like Shadow of the Colossus.
Right.
If anyone hasn't played that, I gotta recommend. That's another one of my top favorites.
Well,
there's
also the Zelda series, like Zelda 1 and 2, and then Ocarina of Time. They were
Link to the Past.
You know what? I got one more, but then we'll talk about Zelda because that's on the list. Because that actually, I can
okay.
bring that up right now, and I'll just show the Super Metroid as like an honorable mention later. This one deserves because this is a classic. I didn't pick the Super. The Super Nintendo actually has some weird sound effects in there, so I picked. I don't know if it's a remix or if it. I think it might be soundtrack to one of the newer games, but it's the theme song, of course, to Zelda, and this sounds really good.
That's a classic.
Yeah, like it just brings up all these emotions, you know.
Yep. This is an adventure that's about to happen.
Yeah, this is an amazing adventure song.
Suck it, Final Fantasy.
There we go. It's better than Final Fantasy because it's on the list. So, obviously, Zelda. It's just like anyone who's a Zelda fan who grew up playing that gold cartridge. Mm-hmm. Man, this just brings up all kinds of like excitement and fun just hearing that noise. You know,
that shit was Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones ever was.
Amen, bro.
Yeah. It's a cool soundtrack, man. Zelda's again. I listen to a lot of Zelda music, and there was a lot of them that, like the rain from what's the Link to the Past?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sounds like Metroid. It has a lot of sounds in there that are really good. That are ambiance and stuff. The rain, the music that's playing during the rain. It's good.
You know they greenlit a movie for Legend of Zelda.
They greenlit one? My string. I hope to God you're not fucking with me.
What are they doing? Did you say they're making one?
They greenlit Legend of Zelda movie, and it's in a fast-paced production because of the success of Super Mario.
Oh, wait,
I think it's live action.
It's not live action. It's computer generated.
Okay, it's animated. Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I was asking.
I think it's live action, if I'm not mistaken. Now, that having been said, like you could always get Uncharted out of this, which I hope not. I love Uncharted, and that movie just was. It was fine if you just didn't call it Uncharted, but it wasn't the game. And so I'm hoping for the same. Like I'm hoping for a better treatment with Legend of Zelda.
Oh, you know what? While we're talking, I think Uncharted was another one.
They did good with Mario.
That, it had good music, but it wasn't worthy of being put on a list. Like,
no. But
it was good music. All right, I'm gonna hit play, and I don't know if everyone can still hear it if I go back. But I love this song, dude, because this is like when you're going into hell, Metroid. So we're gonna get intense now. We gotta talk about something intense while we listen to this one.
It's always those final boss battles, the underground dungeon levels. Those are always the ones that they're bumping.
Yeah. I think they were talking about making a Metroid movie that like 10, 20, maybe 20 years ago. It was John Woo had the rights. Did you know that guy had the rights? He might even still have the rights to Super Metroid.
I think he still does. He won't let it go.
Man, that would be... Metroid 3 is okay, Metroid, they really did a good job with the storyline for all the Metroid games, for the most part. Metroid 3 is still my favorite. I still think Super Metroid is the best. Like, you gotta at least start there. But they did come out with some really cool stories. Even the manga, like, I read the manga, whatever. It was actually pretty good. It had to do with the Chozo. And it was like the Chozo were the ones that raised her or something.
Okay.
That wasn't a part of the lore back when this game came out, so it's kind of fun to read about. But I hope they do a good job when they finally make the Metroid movie, because that
now's the time.
My favorite game of all time is Super Metroid. And for such a simple concept of the game, like when you're playing that game, it's not like you have a lot of title movie like scenes where you're listening to, you're reading the story or like the story's developing. It's just straight gameplay, play through all the way.
Do you follow the rule
until the very end?
Do you follow the rule of keeping the helmet on, or are you taking it off?
What do you mean? With Super Metroid?
Samus. For Samus, are you going to keep the helmet on, or are you going to take it off?
Well,
For, like,
I'm
the
gonna
movie?
try and get her out of that costume.
For the
You're gonna get the best ending. The
Yeah.
3-hour
Like
finish.
Dread. Are you going to be like Dread, where you're supposed to leave the helmet on, or are you going to take it off so you can get your?
That's a hell of a question,
Ooh,
man.
that's a
Like,
good-
if you're
that is a
talking
good-
about in the
you
movie,
gotta take it off.
you got to
You
take
gotta
it
show
off.
her.
Like
Well,
in
you
the
don't
ship,
take
you
it
know,
off
like
in
when
the
she's in the ship.
Yeah, she doesn't take it off until the end of the game. When you finally
So
win.
you're saying because in the game.
Oh, you're saying so? Don't do a reveal until the end. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
That's a cool idea, actually. I like that. I would have actually approved of that. I'd be appreciative of it.
Yeah.
Like maybe see your face through the visor, but yeah, you don't
So-
need to see her until the end.
I appreciate the artistry of that, but fuck no, bruh. Come on,
It
man.
would be nice to see her in the Zero suit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that would be in the sequel, though. You
The
know,
Zero
you
suit.
gotta tease. You gotta tease things for sequels.
Is that an actual
Zero.
suit or is that a birthday suit joke?
No, Zero suits with the blue outfit is called, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I thought. But then it was also you said zero suit, and I was like, well, that could also be like no
Well,
suit at all.
That's what I think it.
I wasn't
it
sure.
meant
I had to
was
ask.
that, like,
It's
It's
Because if you
Zero
were saying
suit.
birthday suit, then you are a misogynist pig.
I want to see that too. Why didn't they make like if you beat the game in 20 minutes mode where you get the actual Zero birthday suit?
We would have a lot different world record runs. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, which those are fun, man. That's actually
Yeah.
I never really cared about watching people try to beat a game, but there are these contests where they do speed runs. And the Metroid one is like really cool to watch because they doing shit in that game I didn't know it was possible. Like the blue suit, the light up, the glow suit, electric suit. What do they call it? I think they just call it the blue suit because it's a glitch. There's a glitch in the game where you're fighting a bad guy, and if you kill the bad guy while you're being electrocuted, then your suit glows and you get like some kind of extra boost or something out of it. Does anybody know about that? Come on.
No, I'm not familiar with that one.
Watch the run-throughs because you either get the suit or not. And there's also like a weird move you can do towards the end where you jump on a Metroid and either bounce off of it or you got to jump over him. If you don't jump over him, you're set back by like 3 seconds. And when you're watching 4 dudes play this game, every millisecond counts.
Mm-hmm.
It is intense, dude. It's I think they beat it in like 47 minutes or something. That's badass.
Yeah,
to
that's
be able
where
to do
you
that.
need the metal version of the song playing when they're doing that.
Yeah. They probably have it in their, in their back in their minds, or have it in like headphones or something.
Mhm.
So here's one that I had to put on the list because it's intense music. I'm not sure musically, it's not up there with Mega Man, but this was a good soundtrack. Remember that?
Is that F-Zero? The screen's all tiny. Yeah, F-Zero. When the Super Nintendo came out, like all those first couple of games, everybody was pushing hard soundtracks.
Yeah. And it's
Wave Runner was another one.
This was like the fastest, craziest music in games up there with Mega Man and Ninja Gaiden. But this game was intense too because you're like, this is like one of those first games where you actually had 3D looking environments.
Yeah.
And like what is that? It's like a racing game, but that Star Wars pod racers. Like that was another game that was like really fun to play as a racing game. Like car racing games were cool, but they weren't like intense. This game was like intense, man.
I didn't enjoy
craziest
F-Zero.
racing game.
I'll be completely honest with you. I didn't like it. It was tough. I was not used to 32-bit speeds or 16-bit speeds.
When you guys did the pod racing, did you guys play like the video game one, or did you go to the arcade where you had to like?
It was arcade first, and then we got the home
Arcade first.
console one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
right.
64 one was a lot of fun though. We played that game a lot, and I liked it. That was a good game, but the arcade was infinitely better. Like
Of
Yeah.
course.
that,
Anytime
but
you
that's a
get
cool
into-
idea for a game, you know.
right?
I didn't like the pod racing scene in Star Wars, but as far as the game goes, sci-fi like racing games, I think they're going to beat car racing games any day of the week. If they do a good job with them, like
nice.
Until somebody invents like the Kessel Run on a video game to where you can beat it in X amount of parsecs, like don't at me, bro.
Well, now we got that Star Wars story, and you know what that means. You got to fly through clouds in order to beat the parsecs.
You got to get from point A to point B in as few, like, a little shortest line possible. Thanks for explaining that one, Disney.
Shit.
Yeah,
ruining the lore.
Because I needed to know that they're going
It
after,
was
like,
a simple mistake. It was a simple mistake. We all just kind of josh you about it. It's all good, whatever. There's a lot of lore behind it. And Disney's like, no, we need to fix that. That was a mistake. Let's correct this error.
Disney fixing things? Okay. Sure. I believe you. Not. No. But so have you guys ever heard of terminal montage?
No.
Okay, so I sent a link in the private chat for Mega Man X.
Actually, I just pulled that up.
Oh,
Okay.
there's some, Mega Man X is, so I'm familiar with some of the backstory of those games.
Well, when you play the video, like as soon as it starts up, you see Mega Man like acknowledge his music within the game, and he starts rocking out to it in the video. It's hilarious.
Here we go. I like the animation.
Ah!
Oh my god.
So this is basically the chaos that you go through when you play the game.
Okay, could you guys please stop?
I love
I
this
was
story.
told we would be fighting men.
Hey, X. Listen, X here. The big boys like me are going to go take care of this. Why don't you go wait at HQ where it's safe for you little baby boobop.
Now hold on a second.
Yeah.
Is there a series of these?
Yes.
Because that's funny. I could actually watch a bunch
Yeah,
of those.
I'd like to go through that.
He's done all the temples for Zelda. He's done Kirby. He's done
Zelda
Yoshi.
too.
Dude, he's gone through all of them.
There's a lot of these videos where people they take the sprites from the video games and they'll make cartoons out of them.
Right.
They're
Death
pretty
Battle.
funny. Some are pretty funny, but I appreciate when somebody goes through the effort of actually animating something and making it entertaining. Because it's and Mega Man X. We rented. I think we rented that like one time.
Mhm.
I don't remember that game at all because we
dude.
were playing Alien Wars
Right.
most of the 90s.
Yeah. Well, all my friends were playing like the bloodbath games. My mom got to go out there and look for the E. Look for the E on the little cartridge.
That sucks.
Yeah.
She all goes to the counter and she's like, "Do you have anything that's ER? It's got the E rating for my son. He's delicate."
Yeah, he's like 10 years old. He needs the E.
I'm a big boy. I can help.
I'm a big boy.
You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
What?
That's a good question.
Whoa.
And this is the music from the actual game that he used.
Did they do a Metroid one?
I'm not sure.
Mega Man now.
Yo, that song is really good.
I like that. They're like rocking out.
That is awesome.
You know what? They should have gone. I gotta say, they gotta like because of the Mega Man soundtrack. They should have gone like really hard with that. Hey, where'd Jake go? Hold on a second. There we go. They should have gone really hard with that, like soundtrack.
Like they should have animated some fingers for a second.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and then like just gone like do some insane solo. Like just go off the wall with it because Mega Man goes off the wall with some of that.
Dude, I mean, yeah, for everybody to acknowledge it, and even in his video, it's like, yeah, everybody knows Mega Man goes hard.
Yeah, Mega Man definitely goes hard.
Sad backstory to these games. They sad backstory to the Mega Man X games. So they were creating this whole new 16-bit version of them, and I think they did 2, if I'm not mistaken. They fired the guy who basically created Mega Man X, and there's a whole story arc that goes across all the Mega Man games through all the Mega Man X that he never got to finish. So there's a lot of holes in like the story being told. He did a crowdfunding thing for a new game that was basically supposed to be like what Mega Man X was supposed to be after it kind of like fell off the cliff when he left.
Really?
He did a whole crowdfunding thing to it, and the game bombed. It was terrible.
Oh man!
But, Mega Man 3 wasn't finished. Like there was when the guy who was making that game had to put it out. It was not a finished game. He wasn't happy with it, and you can tell if you didn't, if you're not like one of those gamers that cares about the story or would even pay attention really. There is no story in Mega Man 3 that the game explains. From what I understand, like it's in the booklet, but it's not actually in the game. So you're just playing bad guys. You really don't know why. And all of a sudden, the bad guy from the previous game is like a good guy now, and you're like, what? I guess he like converted. What's going on?
So did LGN produce that game then?
Oh, that's funny. If you're an angry video game nerd, you get that joke.
There you go.
If you're an angry video game nerd fan.
Oh, yeah.
Angry video game nerd. I love his videos. I love watching his videos.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I don't know, they're different now. Like I liked him more back like in the day. Like,
well, there was some behind the scenes shit stuff that went down, and I think one of his teammates like left, so the writing's a little jonky now.
Yeah,
is that what it was? And
he tried to branch off on other stuff. He made a movie, like he made an angry video game nerd movie that was weird.
His videos got like they kind of different, like and I guess the writer or whatever, like he lost staff, but they just seem more. I don't know, not cynical. I don't know. Maybe they're more.
He got comfortable.
Yeah, it's been a while since I watched his channel, but I used to love it.
How many years?
It was real like
12 years. 12 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's got kids now of his own and shit, so his time's really divided now. But he still does it just to collect a paycheck and have fun.
I don't knock it. I just
it's a good gig.
I haven't watched one in a while.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Mike? What up?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How is it you have different names on different channels?
What's going on? What does he have a different name on a different channel?
Yeah, I thought I was just in another live stream with him earlier, and I thought his name was TF Mike.
No, it's WTF Mike.
I was going to say, I'm glad you didn't drop the W. This
Nah,
is how I
hashtag
write the
TM.
name Mike everywhere I go now. It's WTF Mike.
Now it's going to be TM Mike. He's going to trademark that shit.
That's a pretty funny cartoon, man. Anybody was watching that? What channel is that? Terminal Montage. That's pretty good. I'm gonna go check out some more of that stuff. In fact, I'll hit subscribe.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious.
And like.
Since,
I'll give 'em a like
I
for
know,
that.
I know people up here that I'm on this panel with, like doing animation and shit. I don't know. Maybe we'll see something down the line.
Manuel, the Colombian
Oh.
Beyonder 2003 says, hello. Hey, what's going on, man? Hope you
What's up,
like video games, and I hope you have high tolerance for punishment, because the next one is I'm sorry, guys. This was on the almost every list too, and
I hope it's
I don't
not the
see
one we
why.
were referring to earlier.
and I went through the entire.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a
soundtrack.
good one. Yeah.
All right. Well,
The series
It's-
on Netflix
this
is
was
really
like-
badass too.
this was the
Oh,
catchiest
Mike,
one
I
that
didn't
could
know
hear.
that. Okay. Learn something new every day. I didn't know it was doing that.
Oh, that's weird. It's saying it because it cuts his first two letters.
Yeah. I live stream for a 700,000 subscriber channel, and I didn't know that. Shows how good I am at my job.
On Twitter.
That's crazy.
It's a catchy tune, but I don't
It's
know.
a little
Should I
too
play
happy
another
for
different one?
Castlevania. I bet you Super Castlevania or that other one they did, I bet they're better.
Oh, well,
Fuck was that?
it's an ad. Do we want to watch an ad to get to the
No.
Castlevania?
You only got 3 seconds before you can hit skip.
Hey, that one's not so. Oh, that's just because that's a 6-second clip.
There we go. That's more Castlevania.
That's
than-
better.
Castlevania's was y'all's thing, man. I wasn't into Castlevania.
Oh,
like
that
everybody
game was a little bit hard for me. Like, it was fun, but that's when I enjoyed watching people play more than I enjoyed playing.
Dude. If
Well,
you
that was
if
like-
you like the lore of it, the show
Yeah.
on Netflix is insane.
Yeah, it is. It's
I
good.
haven't watched it.
Oh, dude, if you enjoy anime, I highly recommend it.
I have to check it out because I heard good things. Not that
Oh,
it
it's
matters,
great.
because I've heard bad things about shows, and I actually want to talk about that someday. Like, so did you hear if it was good or not? That doesn't matter. It's like
Watch
nothing
it
is.
yourself.
Yeah. The
Best
pause-
video game
you-
sound 007 pause music slaps.
He just
Pause
puts the
music
game in,
slaps.
hits pause, and goes to sleep to that at night. Starts
Then,
jamming out.
I'm assuming you're talking about GoldenEye. That game just rocked all the way around, man. Okay, so that's some Castlevania.
Hey, you remember that reminds me? Is Eight Eyes on that list? I remember that having a pretty poppin' soundtrack.
Who?
Eight Eyes?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that anywhere.
I've never heard of 8 Eyes.
Oh, Eight Eyes was cool because it was like Castlevania, but it was 2-player, and the second player was a falcon that would fly around, and like the one guy's the character with a sword
That's
or whatever. And
No, you.
that's Eight
that
Eyes.
Was it? Or was it?
Yeah.
It's not Rygar. Oh man, I didn't even look up Rygar.
Oh
Rygar's
no,
like,
Rygar. That music sucked. That used to
well, the
drive me
game
up a wall.
sucked, but
I
did the
hated
music
Rygar.
really suck? Yeah, the game
I thought
was
the music
horrible.
sucked. The music
I
used
don't
to.
remember if the music sucked.
I'd hear that song and cringe.
You know what? I'm gonna look up Rygar while this next Castlevania.
You're just gonna
song
do that
plays.
You're gonna do
Yeah,
that just to
dude.
punish myself and
That's
everybody who's watching.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
my
If
golden.
I
Eight
had to
Eyes.
suffer, if I had
I'm
to
telling you to
suffer
look
through
up
this
Eight
game-
Eyes, and he's like, "No, we're gonna do Rygar."
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. I mean, you made me look up Castlevania. Thanks for that. Castlevania, yeah. Why is it still playing? Didn't I just X out of it?
That sounded like pause music right there for Castlevania.
Why do I still hear it playing?
I don't hear it.
Would you consider Sonic the Hedgehog music good, or would you just consider it nostalgia?
I'd put it on good. It's nostalgia for sure, but it was good.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude. Just hearing that beautiful music again.
Oh, God.
This actually did have a good soundtrack.
I got
Yeah.
born that year. I never played this game.
Woof.
Now, this is the title screen. This other one. No. where's
That sounds like that definitely is going to be played on an oboe.
Johnson,
Out
you're
of tune
fired.
oboe.
Oh, no.
It's not.
No, Johnson.
That's what Misery sounds like.
Right here.
Like the soundtrack
Remember
to
that?
Miserable.
I always liked Rygar.
This is the sound of every RPG ever made.
Mike says, so for
This is
Sonic,
almost
he's
as
saying
hard as
it's
Zelda.
nostalgia. He used to mute the music for Sonic.
I was wondering if I was the only one in that boat.
Yeah. I actually was going to put Sonic on that list, but then I was listening to that music and was like, fuck no. I
Now,
ain't putting
if you
Sonic
do-
on that list.
If you do Sonic Spinball, the pinball game, then you got some good music.
Oh, man. Pinball.
About Sonic
Damn it.
06.
Yeah, pinball.
Hold on. You say the game's called Seven Eyes, NES?
Eight Eyes. Eight Eyes.
Where'd
Eight
7
Eyes.
come from?
I don't know. I'm dyslexic.
That's the knockoff version my parents got him when we couldn't afford the Nintendo cartridge.
We had to go to Mexico to get.
That was the Atari version.
We went to Mexico to the border town to get a Nintendo game.
Nintendo games.
Oh, shit.
Why do I keep hearing this music, man? I just exited out of everything, and I can still hear that Rygar playing in my head.
Yeah, it's that bad.
All right. Eight Eyes. What song are we looking for here?
That initial song, the first one.
The name is Eight Eyes, but we only see a crow.
Wow, I do remember this game, but I thought it was named something completely different than that. I do remember. What was that other game where you're like running through the forest?
Contra.
No.
Super Mario?
No, it was a weird game like this.
Jurassic Park.
You're running through the forest. We used to play it like roughly the same time we played
Shinobi.
Rygar, which I'm going to bring back up.
Was it Shinobi?
No, I'm never going to remember the name of it because it was one of those really obscure Nintendo games.
We already did Zelda.
Contra is not on the
Yeah,
list.
we hit
man.
Zelda hard. It should
And we
be.
did
Contra
talk
should
about
be on
Zelda.
the list.
Contra should have been on the list.
Mhm.
And I thought of something while I was just thinking of a game that I was like, man, why didn't I put that on the list too? But now I've already forgotten what that was. So.
Mike says this is awful.
I agree. We should move on to the next.
You did
one.
Rygar. You did Rygar. You deserved every second of that.
Right? Rygar just rots my brain now. Every time I hear that music, I go completely retarded. So
I
here's
felt
one
that way every time that game went into the system.
This one goes into like back in Metroid Metal, and I've never heard it until today. And I actually was like, this is actually kind of cool. It's Street Fighter, but
Okay.
metal.
Oh yeah, I can dig that.
Street Fighter actually had some pretty rocking music. Sounds like the intro to like a cartoon or something I'd watched back in the 90s.
I feel like they're missing a step. It needs to be a hair faster.
Right? Something that it's like TGI Fridays, right? TGI, not Friday, not the restaurant, like TGI Friday. When you're watching the Friday night lineup back in the 90s, I feel like that would be the intro to like whatever comes on after Clarissa explains it all.
Oh God.
Dig Dug, yeah, I'd put that low on the list. I was thinking about that one earlier.
That I wouldn't put that on my list either.
Dig Dug, Bomberman, Kid Icarus.
Now I gotta hand this one off to Kid Icarus is another one, but
that music was
the
garbage.
music good on Mortal Kombat?
No.
I don't remember the music being great.
I remember the
game was awesome. Now the next one I've got, I think, changed the world of gaming and music because, and honestly,
that is a claim.
our younger brother, and I can't believe I didn't think of this. Hold on, what is that? What is the burger building game? Burger Builder.
That sounds like one of those games you pick up when you're down in Mexico because your mom refuses to spend more than $4 on a Nintendo cartridge.
Yeah. So
game.
Man, I gotta hand this to Luke. Kudos, my friend, my brother. I didn't even think of this until he mentioned it, and I was like, God, dude, you're right. This is actually one of the best soundtracks of all time.
Okay.
Tony Hawk 2.
Oh, that's different.
I think that's unfair.
I know
Yeah.
it's different, but that's when we started getting like real music in games, like actual music.
That's not even just actual music. That like the guys who picked up the soundtrack for that were beyond their time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
Bad
is like
Religion.
getting-
You've got what's it, Goldfinger.
Now this is Tony Hawk 2. Tony Hawk 1 also had an amazing soundtrack, but Tony Hawk 2 was better. Like
All
I
those
think
games,
by a
the
long
Kelly
shot.
Slater game, the BMX games, the snowboarding, all of those games of that time, they all had amazing soundtracks.
It was cool. It's like we watched surf flicks, like surf videos, skate videos, and one of the cool things about them was like listening to music and the music. They're like music videos for these bands, and you'd hear new bands, and it was like, oh man, I got to hear more from that band. So it was like going to a tour, and Tony Hawk really brought it. Like he brought the whole feeling of those surf flicks and stuff back to like video games with this soundtrack.
Yep.
So I gotta say, man, I didn't even think about that, but
I logged in way too many hours on this game.
Oh, dude, I
way
had such
too many.
sores on my thumbs.
Yep.
Why do I have to
just
keep going out some kind of
Probably have carpal tunnel from that game alone, dude. Doing those long, like 1,000,000-point combos.
Yeah, you're not lying.
Why is,
You're a better dude than I gave
dude? Why can't I get past the ads? There it is.
Yes, we spent a lot of time on Bubble Bobble. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but that soundtrack's really annoying. It's a really annoying soundtrack. Let's play it. I'm totally down for that. Let me look it up.
Yeah, that's excellent. Let's go from playing Lagwagon to that. May 17th, one of the greatest punk rock songs ever written, and let's listen to some Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble, dude, and Rygar. If you ever want to like, go crazy, listen to the Rygar soundtrack, dude. It hits hard, man. Like they say, as they say.
Yeah, right in the cerebrum.
Right in the stomach. Right in the what is that? Oh man, this soundtrack brings back so many memories of like we used to just play this game for hours trying to see who could get like 500 million points or whatever in those levels. Yeah, this was a good one. Now, there are some honorable mentions, I will say. With there's this uprising. There's a lot of games that are like Nintendo type games. You know what I'm talking about? Like what is the Undertale? Undertale, there's like these games that are supposed to be retro and everything. Well, and they make it sound like Nintendo music, but it's not as good. However, I will say
there's some good ones out.
Deltarune has a song, has some music. Like it's not so bad. It's actually like it's more modern.
That's strange.
It's not beat map or bit map or whatever they call it, but I could see this in a Nintendo soundtrack.
That's an interesting beat.
I don't
Is this
know if
supposed
that
to be
holds
part
the
two
test
to
of time.
Undertale?
I don't know.
I like I said, this is an honorable mention because of this retro gaming thing that's happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of all the retro gamings, I think Undertale's probably the biggest one, one of the more popular ones. And Deltarune, I believe, is part 2, or maybe it's tied to it or something. It's got like the same font. Minecraft could have been on the list.
No, I wouldn't have that on the no.
Very few.
Or to be fair, The Sims might deserve to be on there as much as Mario.
You know, I don't like digging into like selling myself out on like the games that I'm familiar with, but I'll actually say in regards to that, probably Stardew Valley has one of the better soundtracks. And if for nothing else, like Concerned Ape, the guy who made that game, it was one dude who made that game, and he also like wrote and played all the music for that game. Like you put that into context when you hear it, and it's like, wow, that's actually kind of impressive.
What about Duke Nukem and Doom 2?
Man, those were on a couple of the lists, and I started getting too many tabs, and I was like, man, I'm never going to be able to get through. Again, like I said at the very beginning of this video, everybody's got like their list, and I think that it's admirable. Let me know in the comments all the ones that I missed, because there are hundreds of songs and games and soundtracks. These are the main ones that I'm like that I grew up with, and I remember in particular, and some that y'all remember and pointed out, and some of these that were on the lists, other lists. I don't think that this next one was actually. I wouldn't put it up there with like music, like it doesn't hit like Mega Man. However, I did listen to this song for hours and hours and hours. Wow. Because I couldn't stand the music 1. What is that, Nutcracker? What was music 1? It was like Nutcracker, right?
It was a classical, I forget what the name of the song. But it's a famous classic song.
Yeah. And Amber, my wife, says this song needs to be on the list, so I put it on the list. As like it's in there with the honorable mention stuff as a song. It's up there with. I wouldn't put it up there with Mario, but it's definitely a song I listened to for hours because I was a Tetris
I hear you.
like monster, dude. I destroyed Tetris, and anybody who ever, you know how many times I got that rocket ship? At least twice. I got the whole rocket ship. So, good times, man. I had to put this on there because Tetris is just a classic.
If you like that old 16-bit music, if you go to shapeshiftrecords.com, you can get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 1990 movie soundtrack in 16-bit form on vinyl.
Oh, that's pretty cool. It's got like Vanilla Ice and everything? Or was he was in Ninja Turtles too?
No, the first film.
God.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. We don't have time, but I'm glad you mentioned that because, and maybe even if you want to type that in the chat or something, because I want to look that up later. I'm going to have to come back and look that up later.
Oh, yeah.
That sounds really cool, man. Like, I love
Shapeshiftrecords.com.
Shapeshift Records. Is there a site you can plug in a soundtrack and have them 8-bit-alize it?
I don't know, but if there was, dude, I'd do so many.
It's a million, jillion dollar business if it doesn't exist.
Right?
Just saying, y'all. Get on it.
Copyright that shit real quick. Where's my
Yeah,
somebody
right?
jump in at Chat GPT.
Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this music like Rygar, enjoyed this as much as we did. And let me know, and maybe we'll do another one of these, another day saying, oh, man, I missed it. And then we'll play all the songs that I missed because I know I missed hundreds of songs.
Oh,
but just let me know. And thanks for watching. Thanks, guys, for jumping in here. and talking about this. So I'm going to end with this: the best game ever fucking made.